Make sure you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. And to never miss another lecture from Miracle, hit the bell icon to get regular updates on English literature.
Hello and welcome to Miracle English Language and Literature Institute. I'm Professor Abha Sharma and welcome to our Poetry Critical Appreciation session. Today I'm going to critically analyze Porphyria's Lover, one of the very famous dramatic monologue written by Robert Browning. So it was first published in 1836 in a magazine called Monthly Repository under the title Porphyria, and then again it was republished in 1842 in the Book of Dramatic Lyrics, and this might have taken the source from John Wilson's extracts from Gushen's diary, where he read a lurid account of a murder published in Blackwood's magazine in 1818. The poem is written in the form of dramatic monologue, where there are three entities: the speaker who speaks throughout the poem, the mute listener whose presence is made felt to the readers through the language, and the hidden drama. So here also you have got lots of surprises and shocks. So the first four lines are about nature when the rain came a bit early and the winds were blowing hard, and they disturbed all the trees around, and also the lake started having severe waves. So the lover was waiting for the beloved Porphyria, and he was apprehensive whether she would come or not in such a bad weather. But then she glided in. She came very smoothly, softly, without making any scene. And when she entered the room, she shut the doors. So he is trying to say that the fear was over. His apprehension was over that she would come or not. She was finally here with him. And when she came, she made the cheerless grate blaze up. That means there was no fire, it was too cold, and she lighted the fire to make the room warm with the fire plus her presence. And then she took out her dripping cloak, her shawl, her gloves, which were damp or wet, and then she sat near him. The lover, who's also the speaker of these lines, sat quiet and still, did not say a word, whereas Porphyria was confessing her love to him. She gave some sensuous appeal to him by making the shoulder bare, lying his cheek there, and then taking his arm around her waist in order to make him react. The poet now gives us some background of Porphyria, that she could not control the passion of love, and she came in spite of people at her home, some kind of party going on, but she came to the lover. She knew that she would be ridiculed, but she did not care for anything else than the love of the lover. So she came quietly, even through the wind and rain. So the lover was quite surprised that she was actually there sitting beside him, and to make sure he looked into her eyes, and there he found love for him, and he was so happy and proud. And she did not only love him, she worshipped him, and this made him so proud that his heart swelled. Still the lover was quiet and did not move. Inside his mind he debated what to do, and he found a thing. He took all her yellow hair and made them into a string and wrapped around her little throat and strangled her. Oh, this is a shock here even to the readers, and of course Porphyria She did not anticipate that she would get such a reaction from her lover, for whom she came avoiding all her family members, and she could not overcome the passion of love. So she did not care about anything and came to him, and here he murdered her. And the murder was in a spur of a moment, so quick that there wasn't any sign of pain on her face. She looked exactly as she was when she was confessing her love to him. The lover thinks that he has freed the bee from the bird. That means now Porphyria was free of the society, of all the inhibitions she was carrying with her when she was in love with him. The lover opened her eyelids and saw no pain there. The eyes were showing the same expression of love to him, and then he displaced the yellow or the golden hair of Porphyria around her neck, and she started kissing her passionately on her cheeks and lifted her head, and this time her drooping head was lying on the shoulder of the lover. The positions are changed now. And then he says, the smiley, rosy little head. This is a metaphor for the beauty of Porphyria. She looked so lively, and it looked as if she was smiling at him. She, little poor thing, did not know how her last wish would be accomplished. That means she loved him, she wanted to be with him. So this way, she would ever be with him without worrying for the family or the society. So this way, the lover has made her wish accomplished. And they both sat near to each other the whole night. And the last line is very different, very strange. And yet God has not said a word. That means God did not ridicule him for murdering her. Even he was a party to his action. That means God also wanted them together, and this was the only way they could be together. In this monologue, the speaker seems to be a psychic case, a psychotic, because he's showing his strange mental condition through the absurd actions which he took to make his love eternal. And this is coming from Robert Browning, a Victorian poet, whose poetry was totally different, entirely different from the trend of the Victorian era. Usually people wrote melancholous poetry, but then he's said to be the only optimistic poet of the era. This poem is very different. The imagery is so clear, lucid, that you see everything in front of your eyes as you read the lines. Porphyria coming in, taking her cloak off, then sitting beside him, seducing him with some of her loving actions, and then he taking a step in which he strangled her, then her eyes showing no pain, her face smiling, and the lover being contented that even God has approved his actions. So the complete poem is full of imagery, picturesque, and the action which is taken by the lover is so sudden, so strange, that it takes the readers by shock, because they were prepared for something else and something else turns up. So this is a kind of anticlimax in the poem. This is an example of anticlimax, that when the readers are taken somewhere else and from there abruptly they are thrown to some other conclusion. Browning had an unlimited capacity to focus on imagination, on real things. He is not a visionary, neither he is vague or incoherent. He has keen observation, a strong feeling, and a vivid imagination which enabled him to sympathize with the real and ideal world. He takes up forms of real life in order to represent the supposed or imagined experiences of men and women. The persons are caught in a state of mental conflicts and they think more than they act. So there's an idea of spiritual development which is central to the poetry of Browning. He had a singularity individual intellect along with cosmopolitan sympathies. He says that moral emotions cannot be explained on physical ground. So the genius which blossomed in his dramatic lyrics offers a fusion of passion and beauty, and somebody has rightly said its general characteristic in the fearless and most dexterous of grotesque things in order to express sublime emotions. I hope you must have liked the critical appreciation. So please like, share, comment and subscribe the channel for more such critical appreciations. Stay tuned to this channel. Take care. Bye-bye.